The RPG-7 is one of the most recognisable weapons in military history, but in Arma Reforger most players treat it like a basic point-and-shoot rocket launcher. They miss because they ignore the mechanics from ranging targets correctly to choosing the right ballistic lane inside your scope. This is a calculated weapon system. Master the tool, understand the physics, and you stop missing. Here is how to use the RPG-7 properly. To test how the iron sights function in Arma Reforger, I set up target LAVs on a runway at exactly 100, 200 and 300 metres. When firing the standard TBG-7VM rockets, the results are exactly what you expect. Adjust the rear sight range using page up and page down keys on PC, or up and down on the D-pad for console. Line up the target, and it's a direct hit every time. But look what happens when you swap ammunition. The moment you load a heavy VL rocket, those iron sights completely lie to you. Because these warheads are entirely different, every single one of them will fall short and hit the dirt if you trust the iron sight. The effect is exaggerated the most when using something as large as the TBG-7VR aimed at a target 200 metres away. To unlock the RPG-7's full potential, you need to attach the PGO optical sight. Initially it can look quite overwhelming, but when you start to break it down, it soon isn't so scary. Let's start with the rangefinder. The sight's calibration height of 2.4 metres just so happens to be the same height as our American targets here. Firstly, put the bottom of your target vehicle on the solid baseline. Look at where the top of the vehicle intersects the curved line. The top of the turret hits the number 2. This target is at 200 metres. If it hits the 4, it's at 400. The boresight mark at the top of the reticule can be used to quickly hit targets less than 50 metres away. Just remember to aim slightly higher with heavy ammo like the Armour-Piercing VR round. So that's the rangefinder and the boresight sorted, but what about the rest of those crazy markings? Each section is for a different ammo type. Starting on the left, the numbers under the M correspond to your target's distance in hundreds of metres, except that this scale is calibrated for the TBG-7VM round. Let's see it in practice. We have a TBG-7M round loaded. We range the target to be at about 400 metres. So we align the centre of the horizontal line from the 4 on the left side with the bottom of the target. And fire. If we step it up to a heavier 7VL round, we need to use a different scale. This time we use the scale on the right, under the N-shaped symbol. This rocket is only good up to 300 metres, and so the scale only goes up to 3. We'll aim at the target at 300 metres. Again, align the target with the corresponding distance line, and let it rip. We have one final scale. This one is used for the largest of rounds. In the vanilla version of Reforger, it is used for the TBG-7VR Armour-Piercing Behemoth. Let's demonstrate it at its maximum range of 200 metres, represented by the number 2 right at the bottom of the scale. I found it necessary to aim it about midway up the target to hit it directly. My testing showed that it is also more or less accurate when using the Thermobaric TBG rounds, the TBG-7V and the TBG-7VL. That covers all of the rounds except for the anti-personnel round, the OG-7V, which unfortunately doesn't have a scale on the scope that matches any of the numbers. I did some research and the most accurate I could come up with was this. I've made a PDF, I'll leave a link in the description to it. It will act as a quick reference for all of the rounds we have covered in this video. Now here is something that's probably the most counterintuitive thing that you'll find when using any of the weapons in Arma Reforger, and it shows itself when you crank the wind speed up a bit. I've set up this little scenario along the road. RPG at one end, and some 300 meters to the north, a fuel truck. The wind speed is maxed out at 15 meters per second, blowing directly across the road from left to right. Let's see what happens when we fire directly at the truck without correcting for the wind. You're not seeing things. That rocket just flew into the wind. The total opposite of what you might expect. The wind blows the tail of the RPG, in effect causing the nose to turn towards the wind. Each of the vertical lines across the grid represents about 4.5, call it 5 meters per second of wind speed. We have a 15 meter per second crosswind, so we move the sight to the right by 3 marks. 3 times 5 equals 15. This video has gone for a bit longer than I would have liked, but if you got this far, consider liking and subscribing to my channel. It really helps me out. For the last part of the video, I just want to do a quick rundown of each of the RPG round types. Starting with the PG-7VM, a standard anti-tank round that travels at very high velocity and therefore has the longest range of any of the rounds in Arma Reforger. Good for light and medium armoured targets. The PG-7VL, a heavier version of the VM, it trades speed and range for raw explosive power, good against armoured targets and fortifications. The PG-7VR is a massive tandem charge warhead designed to defeat modern armour. The forward charge clears reactive armour, while the secondary charge punches through the hull of your target and explodes. Savage stuff. The OG-7V is basically a frag grenade attached to a rocket. It does near 0 damage to armour, but creates a devastating shrapnel blast, designed for targeting infantry in the open. The TBG-7V and 7VL are both thermobaric rounds, designed to be fired into enclosed spaces like buildings or bunkers. They release an aerosol cloud which is then ignited, causing a massive pressure wave. For some unknown reason, the 7V seemed to be much more effective at clearing a room than the BL. Anyway, that's about it for this video. I hope it helps you game. If you enjoyed it, hit up those like and subscribe buttons. Drop a comment below if you have any questions or just want to share some feedback. Thanks for watching.